सर्दी हो रही है, किसको सर्दी हो रही है? बाहर जो थोड़ा जाके आओ, बहुत पसीना निकल रहा है बाहर, अभी गर्मी हो गई इधर. Please, unless somebody has a real problem, no problem with turning on the AC again. No, you should look dazed. That's good. सच निकलेगा फिर. Okay, this panel discussion is about, you've read it already, the business of WordPress or running a business using WordPress. So we've got what's the right word? 4 businessmen. Thank you very much. I was thinking of some crazy word. I think businessman is a good word, simple word, who make money leveraging WordPress and other stuff as well, as we'll get out of them, but they make money using WordPress. So we want to discuss with them, we want to ask them questions, we want them to tell us what are their challenges. We're going to explore and understand how they have built this business. We're going to get them to tell us some truth on what it takes to actually build a business, profitable, growing business using WordPress in India. So very relevant for some of us. I'm sure a lot of us in this room are also in the same shoes. We're also building businesses. We're either trying to, or we are just about to start, maybe successfully, maybe struggling, but we're there. All of us are trying to make money out of WordPress. So a lot of insights, listen carefully, and you can rely on me to make sure that these guys don't give you any untrue answers. I'll catch them. Okay, let's begin with a very quick introduction. 10 seconds each.
Yeah, hey everyone, my name is Pritinder and we have a company called City IT Solutions in Pune. We are about 20-member team and
Mic a little closer.
okay, so we are 20-member team. We do web applications on WordPress and we also develop websites and mobile apps using WordPress.
Excellent. Services. So essentially WordPress services. Very nice.
Hello guys.
Pritinder from CTIT. Yes.
This is Premanshu. I run a small web development company called Sunny's
Very
World.
relative terms, sir. Small and big mat boliye.
I run an upcoming company called Sunny's World, and we basically do WordPress websites for SMEs and MSMEs, like as simple as that.
Which is what for the
For layman small companies who can't afford to pay much. Services.
okay. So
Web
services.
services.
Okay. Premanshu, Sunny's World, and services. WordPress services to small and medium companies. Oh, Rahul again.
Yeah,
सुबह भी आप थे इधर.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this is Rahul again.
No, Rahul Bansal.
Rahul Bansal.
डरो मत यार.
RTCam.
Arti Camp. अरे, everybody here looks to be in blue. Arti Camp only.
We started as a service company, and from almost 2 years, we are doing some products, WordPress themes and plugins, and as per revenue, like we are 80% service company and 20% product company.
Okay, so a little bit of products, most of it services. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Amit Singh and I run a WordPress agency called as W Poets here in Pune. We are about 13 people team now. We have basically scaled down our services part of the story so that we can focus on our product, which is now, from today we have basically put it on private beta. You can get it details on getawesomestudio.com.
Very nice. Yeah, I will. So it's very, it's fantastic how they're seated. So fully services, completely services, little bit product, and now sacked all his non-services, all services people and going only to product. Okay. So they've been poking me a lot, so I'd like to introduce myself also a little bit. I run and manage a company which makes a majority of its money using WordPress. We do over 97% of revenue using selling products and licenses and support. We don't do much of services at all for various reasons, and I will explain some of those reasons in between the questions that we speak about. but so I should probably sit in the last bench where we don't do services at all and we do only products. So it's a nice sequence of seating here. Okay, so let's begin with one of the questions which I have been asked many times, and I'm sure you guys will have some questions of that of the same sort. How much money do you make from India?
100%.
Whoa, Rahul?
Ours is mostly USA and European clients, so the percentage keeps fluctuating, but almost 80 to 90% is coming from abroad.
Outside India. Premanshu?
100% India.
Nice. And Pritinder? 80% is India or 80% is 20% is India. And Hummingbird WordPress business is I think 97% outside India. So the question I'd like to ask the audience here, we've got a good mix. It's very nice. Which is more profitable? Would you recommend somebody who's starting a new business to focus on India business, grow India business? Would you recommend for them to focus on rest of the world business? North America, Europe, Australia? If you were listening to Mango, you're losing a view, you're leaving that big bus.
See, if you're doing services, it's better to focus outside India. The money flow, cash flow here is pathetic. It's very hard for me to sustain for last few years. There's services business, even though I'm focused in India. It's very hard.
Okay, Rahul?
I completely agree.
But one point, Amit says it's terrible, don't do in India, but 100% of his money comes from India only. See, I think he's trying to dissuade you. He wants the whole revenue of India to himself. Some story behind this. It's hard. Don't do it. Leave it to me. Go after the Americans and the British and the Australians. Leave the Indian business to me. The 260 million I'll take. Okay.
Usually the foreign client pays better on time. That is more important part, and they are mostly reasonable. I keep hearing okay, can you do this thing for me once the scope is fixed, and please bill for it. But Indian client will never say, वो तो होना ही था, it should be part of scope. But when we frozen the scope, why didn't you read it? They want fixed price and flexible scope. So they want unlimited feature in limited price. But with most of the foreign
Please say
clients,
we. Please say we. Don't say they. We want unlimited.
yeah, actually, I don't go to our vendors, so because on this end I feel the pain because it's very hard. I learn new thing with Indian client. You don't have to be fair. You have to justify the cost because they will never get the fair point of view. So you have to put it in a way that that will make it justifiable. So this is a sort of business tip I am giving. You don't have to make your quote fair. Just justify it.
Okay, we'll come back to that. I have a comment on that, but we'll let Premanshu speak. Again, 100% India if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
100% India, and I am addressing a different segment of market than these guys because I am targeting small businesses who otherwise would be left to 10 for themselves if it was not for me. So yeah, I would love to be focused in India. Money, yes, pinch. Everybody feels that. Everybody keeps telling me, why don't you do abroad and non-Indian clients? Work is the same, pay is good. Why not go abroad? But I somehow feel that India is a very big, good scope market, and someone needs to take care of that as well. So yeah.
So you and Amit are sharing the pie. Yeah, please. Let Pritinder please comment and then yeah.
So to me also biggest pain point is extracting the payments once the work is done. They keep on extending the date for payments, and that's the main reason that we do most of our work abroad. And scope is yes, scope also gets extended every time we do a local project. So one scope and payments are one biggest pain point for Indian clients, and for abroad it's less of hassle to do the work, to find work, and to communicate with them. And for local clients, we have to actually visit them. We have to have 2-3 meetings, and then everything gets set.
Okay. So we've got some perspective. Before we go ahead, I have some point of view and I'm going to add to that. Does anybody have, from the audience, have anything to add to this or ask any questions in this? Topher is only scratching his head. He's not raising his hand to add to this, I'm sure. No? Okay. Shilpa has something to add.
Despite all of these problems, you're still doing business in India, right? I mean, like you said, your business is all from India. So what are you doing to address this proactively? I mean, I'm sure you knew this before you started doing business.
The examples I gave is like generalization, but when we get client, we have filtering criteria. So when they pass those filters, we do business with them. That is the 20% of the revenue. But in terms of leads, we get a lot many more leads from the Indian market. But we really don't follow up them with a lot, because the first thing we check whether they are good on budget, or they want like this कि 5,000 में Facebook चाहिए. Yeah, that is the mentality, like whether they have genuine business model. The first thing as a service provider I check how the client is going to make money, how they are going to pay me. Do they have a realistic business model, or they just want to copy Airbnb, Facebook or something and just trying to spam or like with just try. There is nothing unique selling point in their idea. It's just they are trying to ride a wave. Those clients are very risky, because they have like, okay, I have 1 lakh saving, I want to put this into market and see I can become next Mark Zuckerberg. So those clients are very risky. So there are many filtering criteria, and it's like it's not all foreign clients are good. It's like the majority. So in Indian market also we have very good clients, and some of the clients are working with since the Articam's inception. So they pay good and they are very reasonable.
I would like to add to that. So this is where WordPress plays a very big role, because I've been doing websites way before WordPress, and this fluctuating scope of work and non-clear business models are always a pain. WordPress has taken a lot of burden off in these scenarios, at least in my case, because now if a client comes up and says, "यार 2 पेज और बढ़ाना था," then I'm like, I'm like, I don't even save हो जाएगा, before I save हो जाएगा, हो जाता है वो. So that way WordPress has eased that pressure of fluctuating scope to a lot extent. And since we don't get people who come to us and tell us कि मुझे Facebook बनाना है, I get people who say कि मुझे 5 पेज का website चाहिए, and then by the time I completed 5-page website, it has become a 10-page website, which is okay if I'm doing it with WordPress. So that way, yes. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. There was a pain point. WordPress has helped a lot.
So, okay, just to answer to the question why we at WPoets are 100% focused, right? So when I started my company, I was one thing very clear. If I do services, I'll not do it as outsourced services, right? And if I'm not doing outsourced services, then only I can create my brand, right? And that brand is what has got us to here. Despite all the problems, I keep getting better projects every year after year. So the projects when I started was like 5,000 rupees. Today we are talking 5 lakh rupees, right? But that's because I've been dealing with direct customers, not intermediaries. I have to struggle, I have to learn. But that brand is what I was focused on, and like, 247 billion guys are still coming online. It's a lot of money for me to make because of my brand. So in my team, we don't have a sales guy. There's no sales at all. It's all word of mouth, right? So that's why I'm very well able to do the 100% India-focused services business, even though it's not outsourced services.
My question is to Premanshu, and about your last comment. Even though it's WordPress, it's absolutely fine that the number of pages have increased. But what happens to the content? Because the biggest problem I face with my customers is getting the content from them and then getting it right onto the website.
Same here, bro.
There's no more discussion there. Okay, so I'd like to give you a small story. So you heard all of them talk about Indian customers. You heard all of them talk about. Yeah. Okay. Can somebody get this? There's a mic out there. Yeah. Any other questions after him? Please let us know so that we can get it to you quickly. Yes, please.
Okay, so you discussed about you have a set of criteria that a client has to go through, and then only you accept the client or the project. So if that's not a trade secret, can we have the filters?
Bank account, car they drive, suit, quality of the suit, Raymond है कि local है, और वो ऐसे चलता है कि wallet भारी है कि yes, fat wallet, yes, you can do business with him. I'm telling you, it won't be very different. Let him answer.
And there's one more aspect to it. Like at the very beginning of it, you are not actually in a position to say no to a project. Like you want every work that you can think of, or you have a query of to come your way. So
actually, I was lucky to say no to many projects because I never started with the idea of creating a WordPress business. I started my career as a freelancer. So as a freelancer, I was my needs were very small, and I was making good money from Devil's Workshop. Most people know me for the world people here. So I always had this choice to reject project. The more other filters got created when I got more experience. Like initially, I said no to scraping site. I hated them because I thought they are not creating any value. And as a developer freelancer, I wanted to work on projects that I can be proud of. Then the other kind of projects, they also fail sometimes, like the requirement changes. Then sometimes client didn't have business model and they took too much risk, and then say, sorry, I can't pay you. I couldn't make money out of it. So that was also happened. They didn't pay. Then I thought, okay, let's check business model also. Yeah, it's evolving, and the latest thing I added is clients' understanding of WordPress, because we are now getting very big projects. So one of the CTO I was working like 2 weeks ago, he was himself started as a WordPress geek. Now he's a CTO of a VC funded company, a very cool company is going to get launched soon, and RTCam is providing technology to them. So he was like, I don't want any plugin. I won't name the plugins he rejected because I avoid criticism. But when I said like I wanted to add one plugin, he said, why don't you code it? Because I want to review each line of code. I want Git access. I want to do code review, and this is a big plugin. So, but yeah, then he being Indian client, it was easy to explain. I was pitching easy digital download, and Pipin is my favorite developer. He's the kind of developer I want to be. So he's Sachin Tendulkar of our industry. So that closed the deal. It's like my current criteria is I also check how much people understand WordPress on the other end.
Hello, can you hear me in this mic? Yes. Okay, there's one more question.
Actually, I would like to add one more point. If you are targeting the Indian customers, you should have a fault tolerance and a lot of patience. I can share my one experience with the government official. I was in Mumbai, and I'm saying like, sir, I would like to give the site demo. It is a government site, .gov site, and what they said after that is blow my mind. Like, CD kahan pe? CD good hai. CD and CD. Unless sir, software can, the website cannot run on the CD. So CD and परस me again matters that.
So let me add to that. You were at Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
Now things have changed.
In the government office.
Yeah, now things have changed a lot. I come from Kolhapur. It's a upcountry place. Until recently, now when I say recently, it's like 2-3 years back now. People used to ask what is a website. Still lots of people ask me what do you do. I say do WordPress development, and they're like, development is what? I come from that place. But business is good, two reasons. One is because as my friend Amit points out, competition नहीं है.
कंपटीशन तो बहुत है.
If I come to Pune, मैं ऐसे बाप लोगों को देखता हूँ, मैं डर जाता हूँ. At कोल्हापुर, बाकी लोग मुझे बाप लोग समझते हैं, मुझसे डरते हैं.
वो छोटा fish, big fish, you know that story.
So you can choose a segment, boss. एक segment पकड़ो and become a big fish in that segment. आपको वैसे you don't need to take care of all those 24 million.
If you are developing one site and that cost us man hour like 20,000, but there are someone in the middle of South Asia, North Asia, they are willing to give in the $100 or the $5,000. So the competition for the developer or the freelancer is much more higher.
See, if you consider that way, yes. कल को अगर RTCAM ने कोल्हापुर ब्रांच चालू कर दिया तो मेरा तो धंधा बंद है. Seriously, competition will be there. You can't, outrule कि नहीं competition है ही नहीं कोल्हापुर में कोई. There are 15 people. I am sure some of my friends are here from Kolhapur as well. I don't see them right now. But there are other WordPress developers in Kolhapur. I am not saying that I am the only one. There is competition. The only good thing about choosing a segment and sticking to it is you can then become a big fish in that segment. So that segment can be anything. For me, it's SMEs and MSMEs in upcountry places.
Okay. So this is the point I'd like to make. After hearing all these eminent panelists talk about India business, non-India business, if you notice, we generalized into India and non-India, which is grossly inaccurate. They were not saying, they were saying it, but they were not meaning that Indian business is tough to do. What they were saying is, government business is tough to do. They were saying, selling to enterprises in India is tough. They were saying, collections from companies where they have a billing department is tough. Go to any country and deal with the government there. Ask Topher. They may not say, his story was the government department asked them to deliver the WordPress site on a CD. They may not say that. But they might say something as crazy as, okay, leave the demo here, we'll get back to you in 6 weeks, whether it works or not. Because, there's Thanksgiving coming up. So it's the same around the world. So what you have to realize is we generalize based on country, but what we're actually doing is, we're saying, do you want to sell to an individual? Or do you want to sell to a government agency? Or do you want to sell to an enterprise? Do you want to sell to a small company? Do you want to sell to a medium company? What is the segment of customer you want to choose? The country is relatively irrelevant. The same segment. Now why does it look at the face of it? We sell 97% of our business outside of India. Amit sells 100% in India. Why does it look at the face of it and he says he's so stressed about it and he says, oh boy, quiet, pretends to be stressed about it? Why does it look so different or difficult? It's only because selling strategies, tactics differ for different market segments. They're not the same. And today, sitting in Pune, sitting in Kolhapur, sitting in Bombay, sitting in any part of the country, we don't access the government of America, government of Australia, government of UK. We don't access enterprise sales of people around the world. Because they will say, okay, I like your solution, come down Monday morning to show it to me. The same thing that, some of these guys are complaining, bolte aa jao, dikhao. That's the way enterprise sales works around the world. The question is, you try to sell to Indian enterprises here, and you compare it with individuals around the world. That's the first point. That's why you can't compare these apples and oranges. Please.
Actually, I just want to add one point that is very obvious about the country. It's not again only about India. It's developed countries versus developing countries. So, say you meet two people, prospective client. One is giving you work from United States and one is giving you work from locally. So when you quote, say any rate, pick $10, $5, $20, any rate, they will find it cheaper. So that relative difference in cost of living in those two countries makes big deal. Because because they can hire best in India and still find much cheaper than local market.
So I just want to give an example.
In India, even the smallest agency might look like costly.
Correct. So that's the same example. Suppose we get a company in Bombay sitting near Nariman Point and ask for quotes for all biggies around Nariman Point. They get some quotes. And Primanshu comes in a train quickly from Kolhapur and gives a quote half price. He is the Indian selling to the American. No difference.
Karthik, that's why I'm in Pune.
Yes. So, the point I want to make is, please don't get confused about whether you have to choose whether you want to send to India or not to India. You can sell wherever you want. What you have to choose is which segment do you want to sell to. If you want to sell to government, get government sales experience. Know how to run those wheels. If you want to sell to enterprises, learn how you can get into the sales by organization in enterprises. If you want to sell on the internet around the world, please get onto that site, get onto the websites, get onto marketplaces and sell. And I've taken the hint. Satish is coming on stage. He's the fifth panelist. Satish Nagarajan? Satish Nagarajan. Yes, I remembered right. You want to introduce yourself?
I am Satish Nagarajan. I run a web consulting firm, and I've been developing on WordPress for past 8 years, and work with other technologies also like Android, iOS. So now trying to contribute something to WordPress and making others also. So,
nice. Thank you so much. So how much of your revenue comes from India, Satish?
more than 90%.
90%. Very nice. Products and services?
Services, mostly services.
90% services. No hair, lots of hair. both of them services to India. Chennai. I think Chennai is a cool place to do business in. ये पुणे वाले बाल नोच लेते हैं. So choose your battles, choose your segment, learn how to sell to them. Don't use small company tactics to sell to an enterprise. Small company loves ready stuff, loves quick delivery, loves things that they can touch and feel. Enterprises love assurances, they love warranties, they love longevity, they love companies who will survive beyond you. They're two different things. Don't take a working demo of the whole website to a $100 million company, 100 crore company and tell them, sir, you're spending 5 crores on this solution, it's waste. Take my 5 lakh wala solution, it's better. He'll laugh at you and kick you out because his job doesn't depend on saving that money from the 1 crore to the 5 lakhs. His job depends on making sure he hires someone who will survive for the next 15 years. Because you, as soon as, something bad happens, probably because the precedents are there, something bad happens, 2 customers don't pay you, or you get a H1B, you will vanish.
I can relate to that. I said some time ago that I learned new thing that you don't have to be fair at every time. You have to justify price.
So I just said that it's around the world. It's not only in India.
No, it's not only Indian. Like I was dealing with a very big company, and our competitor was TCS, Sybase, and those giants. So they laughed at our code. How can you code anything below 1 CR? They laughed. They thought you don't know.
You not understood the scope.
Yeah, you don't understood the scope, and they only needed 2 CPT and 1 theme. Like, why do you need so much money? So I can't put this code to my board. They will tear it apart.
Correct.
So what is the solution?
Charge more.
Yeah. But will I get more? No. I have your original code with me. So at the time of billing, I will pay you by original code. But to justify to the board, you need to escalate the price to match the public listed companies, which are your competitors. Oh. So it's like
so that's ways of doing
it. There was one more thing. When they look at the milestone, I directly multiplied the prices and sent them again. They said, no, this is again wrong. What happened? This is 3 days. This delivery is going to be 15 days. So the budget has to be like this. But there are more people working on it. We don't get it. So I told sir, you edit the Excel sheet and I will email again.
Okay.
So that company basically taught me this lesson that when you are dealing with public listed companies, the big one, like Karthik said, they don't try to save money. They make crores from this small WordPress site. So
Correct.
for them, it's like justifying the cost.
Correct. So it's very similar to what Arun said a little earlier. How much can you charge? The question is not how much you can charge. The question is how much does your buyer get? How much value does your buyer get out of what you're giving them? You can charge 5,000 for a website. You can charge 50,000. You can charge 5 lakhs. You can charge 2 crores. Marginal differences between this. So it's a question of opening your mind to the possibilities and the opportunities of pricing, justifying, providing value to your buyers. Okay? We'll go on to another set of questions from all people. Okay, so we have good mix of India business and business from around the world. So we'll quickly go through challenges that you face as a business. Okay? First, quick challenge. We won't have time to listen to challenges from every single one on every single challenge. So we'll go around. So if Satish, you can tell us challenges regarding taxation when you work in India. Do you face any challenges or very happy with the tax department?
No, actually, if I have to talk about challenges in tax, it is whatever you quote, 25% is out for tax, like because the TDS will be there and there will be service tax, which is 15%. So 25% is out. So you can't have a 25% margin. If you do that, then you are working for zero. So obviously you have to be like at least 50%, like double the cost that you have to work on.
But why can't you don't charge plus taxes?
Yeah, even that plus taxes actually goes as an end cost to the customer, right?
I
So
understand.
if I do,
So the challenge is, or whatever taxes you charge, customers count as
yeah,
end
their
cost.
budget, it is coming under their budget. So obviously,
Well, why is this a challenge? I mean, this is just a pricing thing that has to be done. In the sense, tax has to be paid, roads have to be built. I think.
that is correct. When they actually want to evaluate budget with the deliverables,
Reduce your cost.
yes, that's
Why you
what,
ask? Why?
that's what we are
That's the
doing,
challenge.
and that's become the challenge because ultimate problem comes in when the customer says that we have paid. We have approved to pay. It is not paid. We have approved to pay this much.
And you're asking for more because of that.
you are asking for more for just this change, this scope creep, small.
Well, that's different. That's scope control.
Yes.
Ah.
So it actually becomes a flexible thing when you actually charge. Because I think probably even if you sign up with all this, do all these kind of sign-ups in India, there will be almost 100% scope creep. So that's why the pricing should be like taking into account if they say that user system, they may consider user role-based searches, role-based screens, all this into account, and they'll say user system we need. So we should actually charge for the entire thing, unless they say that no, we just need a person to log in.
Okay,
So-
point taken. So pricing, escalation of prices because of taxation makes you non-competitive and
Yes.
eats into your margins.
Correct.
Okay, so but my question was more particularly about the what's the right word? The administration of taxes. Do any of you face administration of tax issues in India? Pritinder?
So,
Well, let me explain that. Saying that I'm selling something for 100 rupees and there's a tax of 15 rupees on top of that or 25 rupees on top of that is not a challenge. It's a pricing strategy. It's a problem. It's not a challenge. It's a problem of how you can be competitive in spite of taxation. Administrative challenge is how do you compute tax? Is it twisted? Is it difficult? Is it unfair? Those are the challenges.
So one is like he mentioned, one we have to adjust our pricing so that we can accommodate the taxes, and other thing is we have to have a tax consultant, which is an extra cost to the company to calculate taxes, file taxes, and do everything like that. And that is an extra cost, and when we do business abroad, that is where we save money, and it requires extra effort to do all the calculations, filing, and then filing all the returns. So that is the main reason that we prefer customers abroad and we do less business in India.
But you don't have tax problems if you have customers abroad?
No, because of our export policy, we don't have to file any taxes for the payments that we receive from abroad.
Not that I am aware of. I mean,
all the payments, all the remittances that we receive from abroad, they are not taxable. We don't have to pay
service
tax
taxes on
that.
them.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so the next challenge I'd like you to comment on, somebody to comment on, is hiring challenges. Okay, Amit, hiring challenges.
I mean, for me, that is the only challenge.
Mike Nehru.
So for me, that's been the only challenge.
Actually, I'm lucky because of the alumni of RTCamp. They have been, they are doing so great that people come to RTCamp looking at our ex-employees. So it's like the
RT कैंप में थोड़ा तड़ी पार कर लो, बाद में अच्छा नौकरी मिल जाएगा.
So that's why we get plenty of resume. I'm in terms of resumes and candidates, we even can't screen all of them.
Amit is looking very worried.
I need to thank all RT campers here.
See, hiring, again, I like to thank WordPress for that. Kolhapur, you don't get much of trained, polished kind of guys who go to RT camps and W poets. So you have to teach them from ground up. And WordPress makes life easier there as well. The only challenge I feel, because my team, development team and designing team sits at Kolhapur, is that once they have sufficient enough knowledge, they find a job at Pune. So I have to keep hiring people and keep training them. But yes, it's not a challenge. It's part and parcel of the business. So. Yeah. So you train them.
So that's fine. So what about the whole story of whether people want to join WordPress? We had a session in the morning where we were discussing building careers in WordPress. So we said it's go, we said it's excellent, there's potential, there's focus. So do you get people who say, oh, I don't want to work in WordPress, I want to work in PHP, I want to work in Android, I want to work in so many other things, I'll get stuck in WordPress, and it's I'll get unemployable and stuff like that? Or is that no longer a problem?
Actually, people have WordPress as a part of their resume, but when you interact with people, there is a lot of gap between that, because it is actually, they would have edited a theme, probably edited a plugin, changed something in between. So that makes the engineering process that happens inside WordPress as theme or plugins doesn't happen really. So that makes it like they feel that nothing is there inside WordPress, and that's why it's about the perspective of people. They don't dig into that. Probably because of that, they have that perception, and that becomes the challenge for us, because we need to convince them, no, there are a lot of opportunities on WordPress, you can do this, that. It's like a session lecture where we have to teach.
So for me, I mean, so we take a lot of freshers as well, right? So we train them after 1 year or 1.5 years, they say, no, we don't want to work WordPress. This is the reason they give to leave the company, okay? No, the reason
is salary.
They never say that, so how do I guess, right? Let me not guess.
Okay.
What happens is, after 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, you meet them somewhere and you say, what are you doing? I'm working in this company and in WordPress. So,
Actually, I'm lucky that my team has.
You and your lucky people always.
I just have a funny anecdote to share.
Big hand for Rahul and his team. Yes.
I have a very funny anecdote to share here.
Okay.
Because
something
said.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So I was taking interviews. I keep doing that, and I love doing that. Resumes, 4-5 resumes. Experience, knowledge, technical knowledge, PHP, MySQL, so on, WordPress. And I was like, wow, yeah, WordPress. What do you know about WordPress? So this guy was like, sir, you did an introductory 15-minute session at our college, remember? I was one of them. That's why I have put WordPress in my resume. And I was like, तूने 15 मिनट में मेरे सेशन से WordPress सीख लिया. Whether I should laugh or cry, I don't know. Like,
be flattered.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I would like to add to this. So, I don't know, in my experience, one is, now I don't come from a programming background, so I've seen this. WordPress is not glamorous for a lot of programmers. They feel, if they do core PHP or it's just a CMS, why should I work with a CMS? It's not like, so that was the perception till some time ago. I don't know, am I speaking at the mic?
No, I think it's me.
So that was one. Second thing that I learned is that in spite of there being this whole huge knowledge base about WordPress, a lot of developers who get out of college or just starting out have absolutely no clue what WordPress is, and the perception that they have is PHP. The companies that they join are also not willing to spend on training much because the life cycle of an employee is very short, right? People learn, they move to the next company. People join WordPress because कोई job नहीं मिल रहा है, and they will then go into a company that does core PHP.
Except in Articam.
So I know this word has been said a lot of times, but Articam has been lucky in that department.
Oh, again, lucky Articam. You're right. Lucky Articam.
So I personally feel this the problem with hiring or getting good WordPress developers is twofold. One is if I freelance and I work on elance.com, I can charge $50 an hour, $60 an hour. That's my going rate. $50 an hour is my going rate. The salary that I'll get in India is it's the same issues. The same issues as that you have a business. The same issues I feel I have as an individual. If I'm getting $50 an hour somewhere, why would I work for a company that pays me 20,000-30,000 a month? Is what is one problem. Second is I don't see a lot of scope for training. Probably, I don't know. This is what I feel. One is the money, second is the training. That might be a problem, that might be a thing that's costing people the good hires. How many people, how many remote workers there? Yeah, you see a lot of Indians there. They move.
Remote workers.
A lot of Indians who work for companies that are not Indian remotely, who pay them, who can afford to pay them 10 times the amount that Indian companies pay. That actually happens, and where
that doesn't mean they pay a lot. It just means Indians pay very less.
No, Indians don't pay less. They pay pretty well, but
10 times?
Not, yeah, but it's still well. So you can imagine that 10 times is actually humongous. So yeah, that, and second is when you work for international companies, a lot of other companies that I work for, there is a lot of scope for training, a lot of scope for, actually a lot of scope for training. I think that's the primary problem, training and money.
Okay, so lack of training, lack of money. Two problems. Okay, just 1 second, sorry. Saurabh, I will need to call you on stage and I will ask you to take this mic please, because apparently there is another session somewhere that I have to go and run, which is just starting.
I have a experience come question about hiring as well. So I represent 13 Llama Studio, Bombay. We don't just use WordPress as a CMS, we use it as an app framework, so that the developers ka question ki aap karte kya ho, WordPress, what is it? But the reason is that a few weeks back I posted a job listing for PHP developer, WordPress developer as a job, full-time job on WordPress.net. All the emails that I've got are from people in Ahmedabad, Nepal, Patna, Dhaka, Indonesia, saying, sir, I represent a team of 5 skilled developers and we want to discuss your requirements so we can deliver this to you. So this is an anecdote, but really the question that I want to ask is, how do you where do you get people from? Because colleges are not teaching WordPress. They are not even teaching PHP maybe, they are teaching .NET, Java or something.
No, stop. They started teaching PHP and open source now.
Yeah, but
how many modern college students here? Computer science? Yes. You learning PHP?
Yes. Are you learning WordPress?
No. So, no PHP in Mumbai University, a lot of PHP in Pune University.
Okay, great. So Pune University students, if you want to work in Bombay, please, resumes. We are hiring.
So people, you come to WordCamps and you say we are hiring.
That is why I come here.
So I don't know. So if we facing a hiring crunch, that we say that it's difficult to find really talented or qualified people to work with the kind of work we want to do, and colleges are not teaching WordPress. Companies is training a problem? Is training a huge cost? Is there a reason why we don't focus that much on training?
No, I mean we for developers, right? Training is the only way to get a good WordPress developers.
Okay.
Actually, we are also working on a open source book, wpweather.com, because training is a challenging part. But I think that if all companies work together and create a sort of WordPress course, like an engineering syllabus book, like the first chapter, I thought it was you should start a blog on WordPress if you want to become a good WordPress developer. So that kind of thinking should be there. Like you should train people to make them as a better developer, and not for only your company's processes. I think that will make a big difference, and that is where we can all sit together, all WordPress businesses, and create a common training program.
Okay, like a common minimal political program, a common training program.
Yeah, and then training cost-wise, if I have to train people in other applications, other softwares, WordPress is relatively easy and cheaper if you know the time and money if you are considering that goes into training. Teaching someone WordPress is relatively easier than teaching them other technologies, other web development technologies. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because people are now actually WordPress by default is something that we
at our company we also take freshers, we hire them, we see whether they have good concepts, and then we train them on PHP, JavaScript, and then eventually on WordPress. So it's a 3 months course, kind of course which we do, and then they start getting actual live projects. So 3 months training is what all it takes to have good people, good developers on WordPress.
So how does it work? Let's say you train somebody for 3 months, they learn WordPress, and then they move to something else.
No, at our company we have a clause that you have to stay for at least a year.
So there is a contractual thing like
kind of
TCS and Infosys do. We'll train you, we'll pick up a mechanical engineer, train him with Java, and then have them on floor. Something like that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So that was one crunch that businesses face. We've talked about the money, the clients. Now we've talked about the employees. So some of us feel we should have a common training program. Do you feel companies should be focusing on training? Should they be spending money on training, or should companies spend the time and effort into, like for example, if I have to hire a PHP developer, we have to hire a PHP developer, you'll find them plenty in the market. Because there are existing organizations that do that. There's an NIIT that trains people who probably are not engineers into code. So do you think the training industry as such, like NIIT or Aptech or things like that, should they take up doing WordPress? Should colleges teach WordPress as part of the syllabus or an extra syllabus or something like that?
See, I can tell you about the time when PHP developers are not this plenty. You know, if you're talking about 2005-06, if those of you who've started working and hiring PHP developers, it was the same case with the PHP also. There was no training. You had to again get guys who knew Java and train them again on the PHP so that they can pick up PHP and become a PHP developer. So for me, the way I see it, challenges are exactly the same. I was doing this earlier for PHP, now I'm doing the same for the WordPress. And as you said, the moment as the marketplace grows, right? And this is exactly what happened when the marketplace grew and the big companies started hiring PHP developers. Automatically, all the support system came into place.
So what you're saying is, if we somehow make this clear that the market is huge, if we give the impression the market is huge, the training will automatically happen and the talent will automatically get attracted. So what we should focus on instead of making specific training programs is to make sure that people know that this industry is huge, that WordPress is huge and it's interesting and people learn themselves.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly what happened with PHP.
So you're saying that there's a good chance that WordPress will also replicate that. So that's cool, fine, that works.
Actually, to extend this answer, as you said, if NIIT is coming up with course on WordPress, then the name will actually boom in the market. There will be noise around this name. So, and as he said, he pointed out it very well. When you ask for some requirement, people will come up with, because it's a self-starter thing.
Okay.
When these NIITs or any other companies that are coming up with training program, then it's not a self-starter thing. So people who are there right now as developers have started by themselves.
Yes.
So they don't want to actually, they see more value, more money if they actually pack it together and install it.
Okay.
So they don't want to actually work as full-time people because they actually get the same amount of money probably in 7 days, 15 days.
You're saying WordPress should, so in a way WordPress should not...
When the entire concept becomes
formal,
then we will get people pay money to learn it.
Okay,
and then
okay.
apply for jobs.
So basically, I mean, I know we're running out of time. My thing is that, so basically, we know that the business has a lot of challenge. There are a lot of problems, money problems, there's talent crunch. But I look at you and I seem to think that it's totally worth it. Is
Absolutely worth
doing business with WordPress worth it in spite of all these things?
Yeah.
So if, for example, some of you do things other than WordPress, does that face the same challenges as WordPress, or there are things that are very specific to WordPress?
Actually, there is one thing that I think we could change is moving to bit more product and at some point totally product. The reason being, I know my team, especially some of the exciting members, is really good. But even if I wish to, I can't give them that much because I don't get that much from my client. It's like funnel. But why I'm not getting that much from my client? Because I'm essentially selling manpower. Like I'm selling time, and if I charge them directly that much, they will get local development team. So their objective of outsourcing will not be fulfilled.
So local development team there will hire us as their.
So the idea is like if we do it in products. In product you don't sell time, so but it's risky, but then you can retain your best people.
So if you see a guy just stepping out of college, wanting to be a startup guy, an entrepreneur, how good an option WordPress is? Because I think Rahul did that. You started out of college. Satish also started out of college, and you started with WordPress. Yes. Amit?
No, I didn't start. I started with PHP, and then I migrated to WordPress.
So, long question short. People in the audience, if they want to start a WordPress business now, do you think it's a good time? Do you think it's a good idea?
I mean, depends.
Because see, a couple of months ago, we thought
what you are starting with. If you're starting just as a services,
money, in terms of money.
No, so that's what I'm saying. If you're starting just as a services company, your life is going to be more tough. See, we already are an established company. Now you're competing with them, and just cutting prices is not going to help. I mean, you can do it for free, but then how will you eat?
Yes.
Right? But that cutting the prices won't help to you much. Rather you focus on product, as you said. I'll say if you're starting a WordPress business, I say focus on a product.
So don't take clients, make customers.
Exactly.
So let me ask you in a different way. Now, this WordCamp, for example, at a capacity of 500, we initially thought WordCamps work like that, right? We start with 100, 200, then goes to 300. We keep a capacity of 500, we expect 400 people. But then there are 500 people. So has something changed? Even online, we have an online group called WordPress India, which is now filled with members. Has something changed? Do you think something is going to change? Something has already changed? Is a new tide coming in? Anybody? Any of you?
Actually,
is something changed in the last year or so? Because I remember 3 years ago, I wouldn't need one more WordPress developer on the road. Now I'm sure if I shout WordPress, there'll be somebody who will say, yes, I know that.
Yes, so as I said, the adoption of WordPress has actually helped,
Okay.
And this is exactly what has happened. It's the same scenario that has played out with PHP in 2007. Okay, that's the same scenario that's being played out with WordPress right now. As WordPress adoption increases, like a lot of people say WordPress is not enterprise ready. Have you heard of that argument from people?
WordPress.com.
Right. I'm saying the argument that has come from others. People say Drupal is enterprise friendly, but that thing is going to change. It's changing already, and that's what you're saying, the difference. As more and more opportunities start coming on WordPress, you'll find more people taking it up.
So after Mahamir's session and what you're saying and what you generally said, like my question is again the same. Is it a good idea? If I am starting out, is it a brilliant idea? Are you satisfied?
I can say it in two. One is services business, the other is products. If you want to build a service, a product, a sauce, and if you want to build a prototype, choose WordPress.
Choose WordPress. So
it is the first thing there are when you actually hit the investor or mentor, they'll ask these questions. Is it scalable?
Okay.
Whenever it needs to be scalable, we can make it scalable.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the thing.
So all of you say there are problems, challenges, but you're quick to defend. No, this is still good.
Actually, I want to add one thing.
Messy or gone or not.
Actually, I want to add one important thing. Actually, it's really the best time to start a WordPress business is just when you're out of college, because your expenses are very less.
Yeah.
you are usually most likely you would be bachelor. So as a college student, you might be living in hostel and getting 10 to 15k from your parents. That's max. Like you have to manage everything, rent and everything. So making that much money and selling a WordPress plugin is very easy. But once you grow, have family, have more responsibilities, you may not be able to take that much risk. So I see it other way around.
Okay.
The best time to start a WordPress business or any business is just right after the college. Or I will say you start when you are in college. So you can have a free plugin and make a user base while you graduate, and when you have full time, they don't support. Go for a premium add-ons.
Oh, premium support.
No support. You have to. You need to have people who are paying for downloads or licenses.
See, if you want to do a business in WordPress, yes. Products, most of my friends here are focusing on that. I'll say products or services, doesn't matter, as long as you choose your segment right and become a specialist in that segment. Yeah, of course, life with products becomes easier, scalable and cool. Services you might end up like, sometime down the line you might see me as well. But still, if you choose your segment right, WordPress is the right thing to start with.
I would like to hear Preetham's perspective because you also work with our stepsister called Drupal. So how does that work?
If you want to make, let's say, quick money, services is the right way to go, I'll say. And services doesn't require upfront investment. It doesn't. You can start with almost zero money. You get a client, you build a website for them, and you have money in your hands. For products, you need a good idea. You need some investment so that you can spend and invest your time on that, and then you may need some time to find your first client. So services is yes. If you have a client, if you know something about WordPress, and someone is willing to pay for a website or an application.
There was this. We're actually out of time. We're out of time. So we agree that business is good.
Yes.
Business is good. Business is blooming, and more business. Even if you get more competition, you'll be doing well. You have a question in the audience.
My question is to Primanshu here, in the front row.
Yeah, first row.
Okay. Yeah. You said that starting a business in the WordPress. Okay, I agree. That's a very good thing. But what are the skill sets required? You didn't add that one.
That was in the morning.
Yeah. Okay.
You need to love WordPress, skill number 1.
Yeah, okay, definitely. For a beginners, I'm into the WordPress development since the birth of the WordPress. Okay. And I
You should be talking about skills, yeah?
No, I was just adding, you didn't added that one, that's what I said. Okay, I would like to say to other beginners who want to start up their businesses is to just learn the basics of CSS, HTML, JavaScript, jQuery. Based on these things, you cannot just go ahead with having a PHP in the whole. Okay, because right now if a new client comes up and he wants the design to be a completely responsive, what happens?
You need to understand, you need to have the basics of CSS.
Basics of CSS, that to CSS3, not just CSS1 or CSS2. You need to understand the media queries, the responsive design aspects, every resolutions. So we need to have basics of everything.
So no, I tell you,
PHP,
nowadays we have this very beautiful thing called Google. So
that's my opinion.
I would like to cut this.
So we have one question we'll take.
Okay.
One last question.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
Hello sir, we are modern college students and final year. So now we are facing our placements and all that in the final year.
That's your talent.
Articam is a very lucky company if you ask me.
No, like we just had this incident where ma'am just told us that in the, not our interviews, but MCAs and MCS, where the CEO or I think the HR asked a girl whether you know about WordPress and all, and she said no, I think maybe, and she says that is the reason why she was rejected. So right now just this is the final year, and then 1 year down the line even maybe we are hunting for jobs and all. And so suppose that now if we want to, now we have, obviously if somebody asks me that do you know about WordPress, I would say okay, we can make websites using WordPress or blog, and I'm very sure no CEO is going to entertain me for that. So you definitely, they are going to ask you for a certificate or something. So my question is also to Saurabh sir, and like suppose we want a certified course or something, then whom do we approach?
Your laptop.
Your laptop.
I mean, if we want to learn the technology.
In the world of WordPress, it doesn't work the same way. For example, when Rahul or Amit do an interview, they don't actually ask you for certificate.
We don't hire on the certificates. Certificates is not even in question. We give you a simple code to write. You write your code and you're in. If you can't write your code, certificate won't help.
I have no certificates. I have no degree.
I would like to add one thing here. If you want to show some kind of certificate, go on to Stack Overflow, answer all WordPress questions.
Yes.
Go on to WordPress.org forums, answer them, show your links. That will be enough.
That's why I said your certificate is in your laptop. If you can prove that you know WordPress, you know WordPress.
Thank you, sir.
With that we'll thank the panelists and move on to a different aspect of WordPress altogether. We're going to talk about the community in a while. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, all of you. And if you want to discuss anything else about the business of WordPress, you can catch them outside. Although they look tired, they're businessmen. They don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind.